After nearly 13 years, a new Z car is finally on the horizon. Nissan has given us a taste of what's to come with the Z Proto concept. It's an unashamed love letter to the original line that ran from 1970 to the year 2000. But the car also does more than enough to stand on its own. Let's start with the car's most polarizing element. The front end is dominated by a massive grille that calls back to the one from the S30. That car also had a large grille relative to the rest of its front end, but it was easy to take in for a number of reasons. Its bumper effectively breaks that void up into two slimmer rectangular spaces. The hood of the car isn't nearly as tall as the Proto Z's, so there is as much ground to cover vertically. I'll give the critics this: the grille does look awkward from straight on. It doesn't communicate how the front end changes very well. It makes it look like the car has hit a wall, so to speak. How it interacts with the other elements in this area can be better discerned from the 3/4 view. It rolls up the body a bit, and isn't as suffocating when taken in along with the other elements. If it gave us a clearer idea of set motion from the front view, then I feel it would at least soften the blow. Nissan also tried to replicate the effect of the S30's bumper by experimenting with the materials inside. The upper portion comes out further than the lower bit. Both parts play with its filleted rectangular shape. 24 of them are packed together up top, while 2 longer ones are spaced out below. We can see what Nissan designers were aiming for in this picture. The top part catches most of the light. It breaks up the grille without using an actual barrier. This feels like one of those elements that isn't done justice in photographs. Designers also got creative with the callbacks around the lighting area. Just like the S30, the edges of the grille swoop onto the bulbs, or lighting units in this case, creating little cubbies for the lamps. The lights themselves are now to the 240ZG. Nissan design director Alfonso Albeza says that the clear dome lenses over the headlight buckets give off 2 circular reflections when under light. The signature pops out against the darkened housing, and the way it stretches back into the unit forges the main bulb and what I presume to be the turn indicator into the background. The side view plays a few tricks to open the car's greenhouse and lower its profile. Let's start with the side mirror. It looks like the hood hits the mirror and cuts back before transitioning onto the belt line. This significantly expands the daylight opening and makes the car feel more inviting. This is mostly an illusion. A strip of black trim starting at the base of the mirror shows where the window actually starts. It still dips down a bit, but not as much as it lets on. It tapers away as it meets our second point of discussion. The brightwork shadowing the top is an evolution of a tactic used to slim down roof lines. On the Ford Mustang Mach-E, for example, the dark portion is de-emphasized, while the body color section is what we perceive to be the roof. The Proto Z goes a step further by darkening the roof entirely, leaving the brightwork as our only frame of reference. Take note of how it doesn't line the entire thing. The side mirror is playing tricks of its own, and the addition of another element would spoil the show. The strip also highlights how smoothly the cabin stretches onto the deck. That black strip kinks up to make a home for the Z-Bat before giving weight to it. This perceived kick is a callback to the S30s. The lights are where we see heavy influence from the Z32-300ZX. The soft, rounded lights are set against the glossy black backdrop. Their arrangement also hints at the original line. The execution varies with each iteration, but traditionally the brake lights and turn signals took precedence on the outside, while the reverse lights were inward and didn't draw as much gravity. The Proto Z puts a spin on this. Both of the outermost units, as well as the smaller ones on the inside, are brake indicators. The row of LEDs under the main lights are the turn signals, and the portion under the smaller ones are the reverse lights. And the cherry on top of the Proto Z is the angled Fairly Z script on the deck. The idea is neat, but it feels like it's just along for the ride. The car is chock full of creative nods of the past. This just feels a bit forced in comparison. The deck has clear separation from the tail light, so it doesn't clutter this part of the car very much. It can certainly do without this, but it isn't the worst thing in the world. The Nissan Z Proto is a glorious return to form. If the production car is close to the concept, then the company will have a winner on its hands.